Hi folks, and welcome to a video that I don't particularly want to make, and I wish the circumstances for me to be making it did not exist. Of course, I'm talking about the attempt on the life of former President and current presidential candidate Donald Trump this past Saturday, July 13th, 2024. It's taken me a few days to sit down in front of the camera here and talk about this, but I've seen so much in the news that maybe I think is misrepresenting the reality of the situation, that I think given the normal topic of this channel of technical aspects of firearms, is that we can have a discussion that maybe sheds some light on some things, clarifies some things, both for people who know some things about firearms already, which I would assume is probably most people watching this, but also people that don't have that background. So if you do have a background in firearms, understand that a lot of this I'm going to be rounding things out a little bit, not getting too technical, but getting technical, getting to the answers, but in a more rounded way, given the information that we have, which is still a little bit spotty, but I'm going to do my best with what is known and what is presumably known. If things change, I'll update the description box with new information, or if I have to make corrections. I'm not too proud to do that. So if you're watching this sometime later, there may be new information down in the description box, or perhaps a follow-on video that discusses new information. I hope I don't have to do that, but that's one reason this would be kind of vague and broad. And also to make it approachable for people to where I explain some of these concepts that we normally probably wouldn't, given the typical viewership. While doing this, I want to be respectful to the victims. Of course, an innocent man, innocent father lost his life that day. Other people in the crowd were seriously injured. Lives were changed, and not for the better. And so I think that we really need to treat this with the dignity, respect, and seriousness that it does deserve. And I intend to do that while filming this and discussing this topic. So what do we know about what happened? You have an individual that took a shot at a man's head, presumably, where it seems he was aiming, at a distance of about 160 yards. Some of that information varies a little bit depending on the source, but what I'm seeing based on satellite images and just the best I can figure out is it looks like it was about 155 or 160 yard shot that he attempted. The rifle, what the reports are, is that it belonged to his father. That's not particularly noteworthy, but it seems like it was about a 10-year-old rifle. I haven't heard concrete information on the brand, but based on what I can tell from the available photos, which are admittedly blurry, pixelated, not ideal, some of them are from considerable distance, it looks like a fairly bone stock, off the rack, typical sporting goods store, Black Friday special, whatever you want to call it. A mass-produced, typical AR-15 variant, without any real noteworthy modifications, except it appears that it has some sort of optical sight, almost certainly not magnified. Maybe in best case scenario, like a 3x prism sight, but I'm thinking not. It looks like something that is not magnified. So he's not getting to zoom in at what he's seeing when he's attempting this. That covers the tool and the way of aiming the tool. The ammunition, reports are that he purchased that ammunition the same day, earlier in the day, 50-round box. Now, if you shoot handguns, or only shoot handguns, 50 round boxes are pretty typical. You're used to 50 round boxes. For rifle ammo, that's a little bit strange. Most manufacturers sell rifle ammunition in 20 round boxes. Particularly of note though, is most of your really accurate ammunition is only sold in 20 round boxes. 50 round boxes, it's not that it's inaccurate ammo, given the standards that we all generally accept, but 50 round boxes tend to be bulk pack, commercial ammo. It's not really intended to be high precision ammunition. It's also interesting that he purchased it that day. It almost certainly means that even if he had shot that type of ammunition before, that he wouldn't have gotten the same lot number, and presumably hadn't shot this ammunition prior to this attempt on the former president's life that he made. So we're not seeing, to me, a pattern of an individual that is really precision focused. This is not a high-end custom rifle that's intended to be exceptionally accurate. He hasn't carefully selected a load and verified it in the rifle. He hasn't tried different types of ammunition probably and made a determination on which is the best for his uses. And he hasn't even confirmed that, presumably, when he's almost certainly using a new lot number and just bought it that day. So we're seeing a pattern there, I think, that shows that this is about what you would expect from a young person just getting access to whatever he can. Typical mass-produced sporting goods store rifle that presumably his dad owned, I think is what the story is. No, that's relevant. It doesn't make any difference. He could have legally bought one that day too. No criminal record from what I understand. So that's not something to really focus on. Some people have. I don't see that as meaningful in any way. But I think it shows a pattern that this is a typical rifle, typical ammunition. What does that mean? So a typical, what I would call off-the-rack AR is going to really do about 2 minutes of angle. And of course, some are better than others. Different brands are better than others. Different barrels are better than others. Even within the same make and model, some are better than others and worse than others. It's a manufactured product, and they're not always 100% consistent in either the manufacturing of the barrel, the assembly of the rifle. Certainly it's pretty good in modern manufacturing, but it's not perfect. Same with mass-produced ammunition. It's intended to meet a price point and be sold at the local sporting goods store. It's good enough, but it's not really intended to be high precision ammunition. That's not what those products are geared towards. What does that mean for us? Well, if you have a rifle that is 2 minutes of angle, and what 2 minutes of angle means, round it off here a little bit, is that the rifle shoots a 2-inch group at 100 yards. That would be a 4-inch group at 200 yards, a 6-inch group at 300 yards. It extrapolates out, understand? But you can typically consider 1 minute of angle to be 1 inch at 100 yards. It's actually not that exactly, but we're not getting too technical. We're trying to keep this approachable. Typical 55 grain M193, which I would assume is probably what is the most sold rifle round for the AR-15. It's usually cheap, widely available. Maybe it wasn't M193, maybe it's some 223, 55 grain that isn't 5.56. Not going to get too technical here. Trying not to. But typical bulk commercial ammo, you're talking about 2 to 3 minutes of angle. Add an imperfect rifle together with imperfect ammunition, and it appears no magnified optics. So he's not getting any zoom in to see his target better. Imperfect rifle, about 2 minute of angle, best case scenario. Imperfect ammunition, 2 to 3 minute of angle. What you probably get through these compiled imperfections is a combination that on a pretty good day is going to do about 4 inches at 100 yards. Now, the distance we're looking at here, probably about 160 yards based on satellite imagery. Could be off a little bit on that. Maybe I have exact locations a little misplaced, but it looks like about 160 yards. What that gives you is if this thing typically do about a 4-inch group at 100 yards, that means it is a 6.4-inch group at 160. So, with this rifle, if you strap it down in a vise, if you make it immobile, it's going to put those bullets in a 6.4-inch circle. Okay. A typical man's head is 6 to 7 inches wide. Okay. Like that. Because I've seen some of these people who are somewhat qualified online talking about how the AR-15 is accurate to 500 meters or 500 yards, I forget. I'm not quoting someone exactly, just stuff I've seen. And how this was an easy shot because in the military they qualify at 300 yards or 500 yards or meters, whatever they're saying. I think they do it in meters now, but the fellow misspoke and said yards. Doesn't matter. So this was an easy shot. Anyone could have done it. I just think that is not true at all. Accurate to what? Accurate for combat situations where you're shooting at a man-sized target and don't care if you hit it every time necessarily? Because even qualifying expert doesn't mean you never miss. It's just hitting most of the time. Vast majority of the time, but still it allows for misses. It does not require perfection. It doesn't require a perfect score. What this individual was trying to achieve was a one-shot perfect score, presumably, and nearly achieved it. We're talking about a 6 to 7 inch target in President Trump's head at 160 yards with a tool that in bench shooting conditions, calm, meticulous shooting, can do about a 6.4-inch group. Trump's a pretty big fellow. Let's presume his head is closer to 7 inches wide. That's a ½ inch, folks. 0.6. You want to get into semantics with it. ½ inch. That's close. That's really close. What that means, dramatic pause, is that this guy was within statistical chance of making a hit, and that ignores the president turning his head. That ignores wind. That ignores heat mirage off of a metal roof in the middle of summertime. That ignores the fact that, dude's heart rate has to be up if for no other reason than the fact that he's just crawled himself across a metal roof while wearing shorts and a t-shirt in the middle of the summertime. Not to mention the crowd yelling at him, and knowing that he's likely to be engaged by Secret Service, possibly even before he gets a chance to make his attempt. Under ideal conditions, you're talking about a 6.5-inch about circle that he's trying to lay over a 6 or 7-inch target. And he hit it. He hit his target. So this idea that he missed, no, I don't think that is really a true statement at all. He didn't miss, for one, even technically. He technically hit his target. It just wasn't accomplishing the goal that he set out to do. But he hit within the mechanical ability of the tool that he was using. It's through luck, fate, chance, statistics, or whatever you pray to, that President Trump survived this attempt. I think to say that he missed is really making light of it. I think saying that, oh, well, folks that go to boot camp, they can do this easily. No, I don't think they really can. I think people that are saying that they could make the shot easily probably aren't as good as they think they are. To me, it's, I don't know if it's arrogance or ignorance or what it is, but this was an individual that was at least halfway competent and was very dedicated to what he was doing. This was not amateur hour. And if it is amateur hour, he got extremely lucky even getting as close as he did. Many people want to say that he couldn't shoot, he just by, so he missed. Well, no. No. Anyone of respectable skill level, given the equipment he was using, could not have done much better. So I think it's the thing to keep in mind is that this was a very, very close call. It's amazing to me that this could even happen. Really just shocking. But the idea that, oh, it was a miss, it was not technically a miss, it was not practically a miss. This is a 6.5-inch tool hitting the edge of a 6 to 7-inch target. Really, really close call. I think we should all be thankful that this did not result in any more harm than it did. That it could have been a lot worse, both for individuals and for the country as a whole. This could have been a really, really bad thing. Even worse than the tragic loss of life that already happened as a result of it. I don't think I have too much else to say about this. Certainly, just thinking about the loss that the affected families are experiencing right now, and hoping that as days pass that we find out more information about how this was able to take place in the first place, maybe some more about the motivation behind it. Is it a crazy? Is it a political terrorist? Is what is the motivation? What was going on in this, I presume, deranged person's head? And hopefully we as a country can get answers to those questions and get some resolution on this. But let's keep the people affected by this directly in our thoughts and our prayers, and let's think about the future of this country. Thanks for watching, folks. I appreciate you tuning in. Bye for now.